So we're going to talk today about how to do the PR plan, the post-training fire plan that I created just to maximize efficiency with PRs. So we're going to take a look at the document and we are going to kind of learn how to fill some of this stuff in. So here's what I know to be true. When people actually create the plan, that's like step one of being able to execute at a high level for efficiency. And that's what we talk a lot about in our division, just being able to, go into the weekend knowing what you're doing. So that way you can maximize your time. Have you guys ever gone to a PR phone jam and it's like, 10 a.m. on a Saturday and you're like, all right, we want to set up a bunch of PRs today. And then, oh, wait, we still have to scrub the lists and we still have to call those reps to get permission to text other people. And, oh, yeah, we forgot to, figure out a goal of how many you want to set up and, all this stuff. So if we can get all that stuff done before the weekend happens, that's like your mission. That's my mission. It doesn't have to be your mission, but that's what our mission is, I guess. So anyway, so here's kind of what it looks like. And I'm going to show you two of these. This is just like the template and the plan. And this is what it's going to look like filled out. I'll show you what our office looks like as well. So there's a couple different steps to this. The step one is to make sure, so as soon as somebody launches, we're just typing in every single rep right here. And that's just step one, getting all the people in and how many PRs they submitted total. That's a pretty easy step. And then the goal of the pre-work part is so here's what I want you to think about. Can I start PRs at 10 a.m. on a Saturday and literally just press, as soon as, 10:01 hits, it's like, all right, press the button, send the first list, and then be able to, get responses and set people up. That's kind of how I want it to be for our managers so then they're most efficient. So what does that mean? It means that you got to get everything done up until creating the groups and office conveyor. As soon as the groups are created, sweet, you get to have fun on Friday, take some PDI and not really have any stresses about how your PR plan is going to go. So first step is to do duplicates. So whether it's having an assistant manager, so in our office, our assistant manager, Evan, does an awesome job with this. And he just goes through all the duplicates. He checks it off when he's done. We scrub the list. A scrub means just like a preliminary changing the names, nicknames, all that, and making sure that first and last names are changed. So it's only first names in the first name column.
Yep.
And then what we do is we star the people. Starring would be starring any that are not nicknames, because we're not going to star a nickname because we're not going to send that to office conveyor. We're going to text those manually. Now, hey, ideally in a perfect world, you talk to every single rep about their PR list. You FaceTime them, you go through and you have them change every single nickname. Yeah, that sounds great in theory. It's just really challenging to do with every single person. So let's just get it done to our level. And hey, you know what? If we have 7 people to text from their list because we couldn't get the names changed, you just text them from your cell phone and you just don't have the name in there. Hey, it's Nik Leindecker, you get what I'm saying? So it's not, you don't have their name in there. And then we write down how many nicknames. So Jasmine, say she submitted this many, we already scrubbed the list. She has 2 people we have to manually text from our phones. And then we're going to create the group and office conveyor. So that means that person is done. And we would do that for each rep. Duplicates, obviously, that's just all in one thing, right? So that's how that works. And then so let me actually just keep going. I was going to say if you have any questions, but I think we can go at the end. So then the second part is we want to make sure that we know how many PRs you want to set up each day to hit your specific goal. So what I did here was I broke down, hey, if you want to hit 50 for the week, here's what my recommended amount is per day. And if you notice, our goal is, can you hit your PR number by Tuesday night? So I left some of the Wednesdays and Thursdays blank, but I still put it in there just in case you want to add a goal for those days too. So can we figure out how many we want to set up? Because here's what I've noticed too. If we're just saying, I want to set up as many as we can, and a manager goes into the weekend saying, I'm going to set up as many as I can. That's like a rep saying, I'm just going to do as many demos as I can. I'm going to sell as much as I can for my fast start. We all know how that goes usually. So if we can have a concrete number per day of how many we want to get set up, it makes my job as a manager, but then our assistant manager's job so much easier, because Evan and we talk and say, hey, Saturday, our goal is to set up 10. We've got to set up double digits today. And then he knows, hey, here's my number. This is how many I am away. Sunday, we want to end at this amount, right? And Friday is kind of like a bonus day. Like if you get some extra ones on Friday, that's cool. And then, you know, Monday is going to be a big day too. Tuesday is a big day. And then Wednesday, Thursday, that's usually when training is going on, right? So you're not going to do much as well. But hey, we always usually set up double digits on Wednesday, Thursdays because we're chasing a goal to hit our standard. So that only takes, so if you notice the pre-work, this is the part that might take an hour or so to finish every single list, depending on how many you launch. This takes just a minute just to go through. And then we're gonna figure out how many resources we're probably gonna gather. So like, let's say, for example, you launch a couple people, you collect this many. My metric that I've noticed is it's pretty much 5 to 10 PRs set per 100 that you collect is usually how it goes from office conveyor. Now, why is our efficiency closer to the 10 per 100 compared to the 5? It's multiple different things, but it's letting the rep know that we're going to reach out to them. That's kind of the main one, right? Making sure they know. Do they have a text to send in case their friends respond? So they can just copy and paste it. Do they have any demos during that time? Are they going to be blown up and overwhelmed and then, you know, so are you picking a good time? There's a lot of different things that increase the efficiency of how many per 100 are you going to actually set. But let's say my goal is to do 50 for the week though. Well, if I'm going to get about 8-ish per, you know, for that total, well, we got to find a way to get 42 more. That's kind of where my mind's at. So PR name collection is a way, but it's not the only way. So that's kind of why we always type this in to see what we're probably going to get from that. Okay, then we just create the schedule. So when are you, your name would go here. So Adam Mundy, right? What time are you doing PRs on this day, this day, this day? And you type it out. And then if you have assistant managers, you type in when they're going to be working on PRs. And that would be like a sole focus. Sometimes people just write down all day. Well, I would rather have you know when you're working and committed to doing PRs because that's going to make you more efficient during that time. And then pretty much the last step is just to go through and type in every single resource. So this is source here, and this is, you know, if you don't know how to find one of these, you can let me know and ask me, but basically you just go through and you type in how many you have for each of these resources. So you know exactly what you have. And then if you have assistant managers, who's going to be doing each one. Again, this is really detailed. This is really effective and efficient, and it takes a little bit of time, but it's those small little details that make it so much easier in the end, because then, you know, so we had the top, like this is the launch, right? These are all the new people who get started. And then down here are all the people who have, you know, maybe they launched last week or something. And then we've already, you know, sent their first text, second text. We haven't done this one yet. Now, another thing is, what did we do, Danny? You know, 6-7 years ago, we had receptionists. What was the receptionist job? It was just straight up, you get 100 people, you straight up call those people until they answer. And what I found is a lot of managers nowadays are like, well, we sent 2 texts. I guess I don't have any new leads. Well, sending 2 texts to somebody, let's say you had 100 people and you had yes or no's from like 40 of them. You still got 60 people in there that are actually fresh leads. But a lot of times managers say, well, I'm not going to reach out to those ones, or I forget. So what we do is an office conveyor. We just create a new list. And if you can always rewatch this video if you forget, but you create the group. And then one of the filters is last reply is unknown. And then that would be the same thing as a second text. And what you can do is you can just call down that specific list. Because, you know, if I'm texting new ones, I would give, you know, Abs is let's say he's my assistant manager. I'll say, hey, you know, you take these 60, call these 30 this hour, call these 30 this hour, and let's see if we can get a hold of some people. And of course, we have a script for that. It's another, which I can get it to you. It's just another script for very specific 2 texts from office conveyor. What do you say? You could probably guess what it says. It's basically like, hey, we reached out to you a couple of times. Your friend recommended you for the job. Not sure if you got the text. Oh, you did? Okay, great. Anyway, and then you just go into the script, something like that. Okay. Now, what we do in our office, I don't require any managers to do this, but in our office, we make a detailed plan. So for example, you're starting on Sunday. Now that we have all these different resources up here, we're going to go through and type in when we can actually work on those. So this is when we're doing Jasmine's. This is probably about how long it's going to take, interview PRs, and you can see that we just plug this in. So our managers know the checklist. Boom, 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 boom. This is what we're working on. Okay. And then, you know, we got an interview, so you're not doing anything there. We do posts. And then, so I actually don't do this. My assistant manager, Evan, types in a plan for him every single week. So he knows what he's doing. And if we take a look at our, you know, specific one, you can kind of see exactly. So for Saturday, we've got a list of exactly what he's working on there. And then Sunday, he works on this. I mean, how cool is it that he does this on his own as an initiative to type in what he's got going on, and he knows exactly how productive he's going to be. And then I, of course, review it, give him some tweaks and all that. So it's really great to know exactly what people have going on. So what's the mission? The mission is to do your pre-work, to make sure you figure out who's helping, to create the schedule, goals for each day, and then, you know, just make sure you fill all of your resources. Now, when do we do this? We do it right as the manager collects PRs. So Dane collects PRs, we'll call it around 1 o'clock. By the time he's done, you know, we're doing the plan from, you know, 2 to 3-ish. And then when that is done, my manager, Evan, will screenshot this on his phone, send it to me and Dane. And then that's his role, and that's it. That's 3:30 pretty much it's done by. And now we can focus on not worrying about PRs or what the admin stuff is we have to do. We can focus on diving in with our reps that we just launched. So that's pretty much how you fill out the plan. So what questions do we have about that? What can I help you out with?
Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask if we could get a copy of that template. So we can make a copy of and kind of utilize.
Yeah, I'll just post in the chat, then you can just click on file, create a copy.
Thank you.
I think this is brilliant. Super simple.
You like
Adam's
it?
question?
No, I don't think so.
Great.
So you go file, make a copy. Okay.